Welcome to CPTM Smart Partners Hub in London. Today is 13th of July, Friday. As usual, it's about actually 2:15 in the afternoon. And we are almost ready, as usual, with the regular email with the latest news. And also we are prepared to watch on Sunday the World Cup, as everybody else. I'm very sorry that England lost, but here we are. But at the same time, we thought that as a preview of the most interesting, useful and informative think tanking dialogue that took place yet again, led by central bank governors on 28 and 29 of July, about 10 days ago. We are going to give you the chance to watch and listen before you are watching the World Cup on Sunday. Watch and listen, the most interesting discussions and informative discussions about the optimizing data and adaptive flexibility approaches within the inclusive initiatives networks which CPTM is supporting for a number of years. Now, the significance, as we did say to ourselves, of the think tanking was that it took place as part of the initiation of the 2 years program of activities, networking activities, under the umbrella of the CPTM cooperative framework for leveraging the value of data through smart partnership. And the think tanking which took place at the end of June was the initiation of the CPTM cooperative framework initiative on leveraging the value of data. It focused on optimizing data and data technologies, and particularly in the financial sector, in central banking context, but with reference to the economic statistics and the impact that data technologies have on measuring the intangible economics that emerge. So the signals from the think tanking are very much to be picked up by yourselves, but yet again, and that's the reason why they are being recorded, and you can watch them, you can listen, you can share to the others, but the main purpose is that they need to fit into a cooperative, timed, coordinated, synchronized activity. The emergence of the digital technology, the impact of the value of data, as David Hand mentioned, is not about leveraging, it's about liberating the value of data. So the emerging of the focus on the value of data is very much also a measure of time. Now, balancing the time, synchronizing the time, will allow smart partners to gauge and synchronize in such a way that leverage can take place in one's context, in a national context, in organization context, through a collective synchronized network and smart partnership approach. There are many initiatives related to cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin, blockchain technology of all type, but not balancing and watching the time or stretching the time and being aware about the dimensions of time will not allow leverage to happen. So during the think tanking, one of the well-known sculptors allowed us to share with you in visualization terms what means balancing cubes or falling cubes. Now, in addition to that, we want to emphasize today that disrupting the balance is very much of implementing and leveraging, operationalizing what you are able to get to know, is very much dependent on time. And because of that, in addition to the main purpose of today's email is to attract your attention that as a preview to the recordings of the most valuable recordings of in real time among real-time individuals, decision makers, governors, experts, chief executive of digital technologies. If you are not picking up the signals, and then if you are not aware about the fact that time has a dimension, then the leveraging of the value of data will pass you by. I mean, this is the alert and the reason why CPTM Smart Partners Hub exists, to alert you that things happen quickly, and the value of the Smart Partners interactions lies not only in distributing the knowledge in time and ahead of time, but also in pressing that operationalization needs to take place also in time. A colleague of mine, a very good friend of mine, Jen Vasbinder, he's a physicist, but he's a very well-known specialist in complexity. The other day wrote or reflected on the dimension of time, and I'm sharing with you. But why did he do so? Because he's attracting us the attention that the time, probably the intervals of time, is measured by clock, is measured by calendars. But there is the time that things happen as we measure it, and there is a perceived time. Sometimes one thinks that there is all the time one has in the world to take a decision. But in fact, things happen in a fracture of a second. This is the reason why the Smart Partnership in the next 2 years, starting with June 2018, the CPTM networks synchronized with each other into a connected program of initiatives, both in terms of financial together with national statistics and data and standards and security and national visions. They will be able to contribute in time to leveraging value of data. So have a good weekend, good watch, and pick up the signals yet again and I'm glad that as a preview we are including the recordings with the agreement of those who took part in the most successful think tank game. Next week you'll have more. And by the way, watch the World Cup.